Hi, welcome CSA students. This is just a video to help you get started on this practice lab if you're having a hard time getting started on your own. If you can produce this output in a Java program on your own, then just go do that. That's the only requirement. So again, this is just to help support you to get started if you need it. So if at any point you feel like you can go on your own, pause the video and get as far as you can, and then you can come back to it. So this is a program where we're displaying some information about a book, and where it looks like we're going to purchase 9 books, and we're going to figure out some costs associated with purchasing those 9 books. There is, and these are sometimes called specs, the specifications. There is a requirement here to use some variables for number of pages and cost. We may, it also says you can create other variables and constants if we choose. So we want our output to look similar to this. You can choose your own book if you want. So when you're given something like this and you see all the output, you should be thinking system.out.println, and so this is just going to be a system.out.println message. And so I might just start with one line and get that compiling and running and then add the next line. So this incremental nature with programming can be very helpful in debugging, and also just we like to have the big picture, but then it's good to chunk down into smaller pieces that you can tackle first. So opening up JGrasp, and this was the Find All the Errors program. I'm going to say File, New Java, and I'm actually going to copy all this code over because it's correct code. I've fixed all the bugs. It's working. It's got print lines in it. And maybe I'll get rid of these 2 print lines. I'll delete those. And I'll definitely change the name, right? I already have a program named Printing. I'm going to leave that one there as a resource. There's nothing wrong with copying your own code to get started. So in the specs, this was called BookDisplay with a capital B and a capital D, like that. So class names start with a capital. And the first thing I wanted to display was this. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it right here. I can see straight away that for some reason this was a string literal, and it's not a string literal when it's black. And so somewhere my string literal got messed up. So it might be that these need to be retyped. That's not doing it. And then we might remember that in order to display this quote in the output, you need to use that escape sequence key. So we have to do a backslash before each quote. Hit the compile, save. This is the file name I want. It matches my class name exactly. I compile and I have a clean compile. And so that means I can run it. Great, I got the book. I'm going to go ahead and copy this, Control C, and I'm going to paste 1, 2, 3, 4. How many were there? 8, 5, 6, 7. And I'm just going to paste all of these in. I did a little differently in the last class, but I'm going to Control C, go back, and my JGrasp is freaking out a little bit. Let me go here and here, fix it. I'm going to paste it in between the string literal, and I might even compile and run between each paste just to make sure I paste everything. So I've got all these books, but ooh, now I've got the author. So I'm going to get the next one and paste it in the next. Control C, Control V, compile, run. It's working. And I know, that it said to make the variables, but I'm going to go and do that later. So I'm just going to start again with this. Control V. And maybe I'm getting tired of running in between every time, so maybe I'll try to copy a few lines. Okay. Without compiling, getting. And again, all that means is that if I were to compile now and I had an error for some reason, like that escape sequence kind of thing. Now I know it was in one of these 3 lines. I couldn't just isolate it to the 1 line. All right, I'm getting closer. So I left off with this. Control C. I guess there we went. Control V. And of course, these are things we want to be math calculations, right? Anybody can copy and paste this, but I want to be able to change some of these values. Oops, oh, that'll work. And have it calculate these costs and things for any book. Okay. The last one. All right, compile, run. So, yes, we're seeing the output. Yes, I've produced the output like it asked. This is a little off. That's okay. I don't want you to worry about that right now. But if I said, okay, change the book title, change the pages, and change the cost, you'd have to go calculate these values on a calculator using the new cost. And we don't want to do that. We want our program to do that for us. So first, it said that I needed a variable for number of pages and cost. So I'm just going to start with there. And it is good form to put your variables at the top of your program. So I think pages, the num pages, or I'm going to call it num pages, I think that should be an integer. And it looks like it's 400 pages. So I've declared the variable, I've given it a value. And so now, instead of printing this string literal, I can print the variable. So if I run this now, and you may have some errors if you don't get it perfect. It's very common, very normal. So I'm still getting this output, it's just that this value is coming from the variable instead. I am going to go ahead, and because I just think it's good form to get used to seeing this as separate statements, I'm going to separate my declaration from my initialization. So I'm going to declare the variables here, and I'm going to initialize them all here. All right, so now I need to move on to the cost. That was a requirement in the specs. It has a decimal, so I'm going to give it a double storage container. And cost for this book was given as 9.9. So now I can do the same here. Instead of literally printing 9.9, I can put the cost here, like that. So getting closer. But the beauty of the variables is that if I were to change this, say the book went on sale and it's $6.95, if I compile this and run this, my one cost is going to be updated here for the book on Amazon, but none of these calculations are going to be updated. So the last piece of this is to use some of our new math skills to do that. So I think I see here, I mean, I could make this a variable. This is already a variable, so I can go ahead and do quote plus cost plus quote, like that. Whenever you want to display a variable with a string literal, you just put plus signs on either side. So I don't know that we've seen like this. We've seen it at the end like that. But so anywhere I want to go, variable, string literal, I just need plus signs in between to concatenate everything. All right, so now I want to use the cost to calculate these. So I'm going to go ahead and make 3 variables, subtotal, tax, and final total. And they're all going to be double values. They all have decimals. So I'm going to go ahead and declare them up here with the rest. So I had subtotal, I had tax amount, and I had final, or just total, subtotal, total. That works. So I need to calculate these values. So I'm gonna purposely make a mistake here. So the subtotal should be the cost, which is $6.95. times how many books I want, which is 9 books. So we don't want to be using hard-coded values when it's already in a variable. So this amount represents the cost, so we should be using that variable. It's going to limit if I need to update the cost, how many times I need to change that value to update the cost. So I'm going to use the variable to do the calculation. The tax would then be, it said 6% in the specs times the subtotal, and the final total equals the subtotal plus the tax. So you can see how having descript variable names helps you keep it straight. If I compile this, I forget to purposely put errors in sometimes. So this says cost might not have been initialized. So this is where vocab comes in handy. This means that cost may not have its initial value. And so it's important to have this before I use it. So I'm going to cut it from down here, and I need to put it here. So now I've initialized it, now I can use it. And when I use it here, subtotal will be in it. So all of these, order really matters. I had to calculate subtotal before I could use it here. I had to calculate tax before I could use it here to get the total. So the last step for this is to now use these variables in our prints instead of the hard-coded value. So instead of printing out all these numbers, I want to end my string literal, and I want to concatenate on the subtotal. Instead of printing this tax amount, I want to get rid of it and concatenate right there the tax amount, and the same with the total. Now I did 3 things at once, broke my own rule, and I'm used to writing code, so most students, it's really normal to have a ton of errors you can't figure out and you can't fix. And I had one today, the student had all the little lowercase s's, and so there's a lot of little things to miss. It is very picky, so be patient with the process. So this looks different. Why does this look different? It was 89 something. Oh, I changed the cost of the book up here. So isn't this nice that all I have to do here is change it back to 9.9, compile it, run it, and now it looks just like the output on the specs. And so now, haven't I made this, and I would argue that this value should be a variable, so I can change it to be 10 books or 11 books. I can buy as many books as I want. So it is good form to do spacing like this, to have some blank lines in between. Java doesn't mind. You could have 5, but then I've got code on the other page. So usually 1, and it's nice to format in chunks like this, but remember we have to do things in the correct order. I can't print things until I give them values. And the first or the last thing should be that you put your name on your programs. It's good to date them and to give them a description. Now everything looks like this until I close my comment. So I'm going to give the description as tinkering. That's a official word, tinkering with variables and math operations. So later, if you have in the next week, if you're trying to make a program with variables or do math, you have this as a resource. You have a quick description of what we did there. And it's always good to compile and run one last time, make sure I didn't delete a semicolon somewhere or anything. And again, I could play around with this spacing on this tax. It looks kind of wonky for some reason. I don't know why I did that. It looks fine there. That's so weird, isn't it? Oh well, I'm gonna let it go. All right, have fun. I hope you get this going, and don't be afraid to try some new things. All right, happy coding.